Hi there and welcome to this video about watching variable values. Now previously we've looked at the debugger and the idea of being able to run through our app line by line, and as powerful as that is, really the way that our app works is all about really the changing of variable values. And often as not, when we're looking for bugs in our program, it's because variables for one reason or another have been set to incorrect values, and we need to try and sort of understand why. And there could be all sorts of reasons why, but we need to be able to locate the problem. And in order to do that, we've really got to find out where it is that our variables are being set to the wrong values. So what's a quite handy tool with the debugger is the ability to watch variable values as we are playing our app. So it's not just about whatever is output to the app window itself, we're actually able to keep track of variable values. So let's just have a look at how that works. I've got a program here, a little app, and the idea is it's just going to run through a loop 12 times and create two random numbers and between 0 and 12, and those numbers are going to be multiplied together to create a total, and then that's going to be added to like a running total. So I've got 5 different variables here in total. I've got my loop counter, okay, to control my loop, the 2 initial random numbers that get chosen. I've got the total, which holds the one number times the other number, and then a random running total, which is where I'm keeping track of that and just adding to it each time around the loop. So quite a few variables there to keep track of. Okay, and let's just sort of see how this works. Well, if I just play this app, and then immediately what I'm going to do is go to run the app with the debugger. Okay, and this time what I'm going to do over in the debugger over here is to choose to start watching variables. Now we can see that it's waiting to start, and I can run this line by line. Okay, and at the moment all I've got is the global variables of retval string and retval itself. Okay, so those are sitting there ready. Okay, I've got no variables of my own declared yet, but let's just see what happens if I run this highlighted line here. Now immediately that jumps past all of the declaring of these variables, and we can see they've now appeared as my local variables for the function start. Okay, so those have appeared there. So we've got loop counter, random 1, 2, random total, running total. So all of those are in there now. Okay, and if I run the next line, okay, we can see that's sort of set random running total to 0, which it sort of was anyway. Now let's just go into here now. So loop counter is currently set to 1. Okay, and that's fine so far. So if I do the next one, let random 1 equal retval. Now at the moment I've not run that line, I'm about to run it. So when I run that there, we can see that first random number was 8. And then if I run the next one, so if I just scroll down a little bit so we can see what's going on. Okay, so random 2 is now set there, and that's also 8, which is a bit unusual. Okay, and then if we run the next one, so let random total equal the first one times the second one, we can see that should be 64. Okay, and we can see that's been placed in there, and I run the next one, which sets that equal to 64 at the moment. So I come back in my loop counter is now 2. Okay, so I've got set random 1 first, which this time is 7, random 2, which in this case is 0. Okay, and the 1 times the other is going to be 0, so 7 times 0 is 0, and that means we're adding 0 to our total. So let's run it again. Loop counter is 3, random 1 is 11 this time, random 2 is 4, so that should be 44, and I'm adding 44 to the 64, which should give us 108, etc. So we can see how that's working, and we can see as I run through this, the variables are changing as I do so. So a very powerful tool, really useful in terms of trying to figure out where your programs are going wrong. The idea of watching your variables and running it in conjunction with the debugger in terms of running a particular line one at a time and seeing exactly where it is that the values are going wrong, particularly where we've got multiple variables working together. So that's watching variables with the debugger.